Well, good afternoon. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the steps to be successful in making and getting your first 3D keychain printed. The plan is that over the next 2 days that you will work to design your 3D, to design your project for your keychain, and then on Thursday, those who have been able to submit it, their STL files, which will make sense later, we'll go over and we'll show them and go over some kind of review them and see which ones are ready to print and which ones still need to be gone back and fix a few things so that they can print. So here is our Canvas page. We're going to go to modules. I'm going to go walk over this document with you, requirements for 3D keychain, and I'm going to show it to you here so we can see it better. So these are the requirements. So the first keychain is an assignment designed with specific specifications that you must follow in order for you to learn how to use different tools and to demonstrate that you know some of the things that we need to have in order for keychains to print properly on our 3D printers, or it becomes just a mess, and you don't get the results you wanted. You can do a lot of different things if you choose to do extra keychains, but this first one, you basically have to follow the rules. So your must-haves for this keychain: it needs to be 55 by 55 millimeters in size, and large, which is large enough to make a reasonable size keychain. And we call this the slab because this is where everything else goes in when we do our keychains. It has to be 5 to 6 millimeters thick. We're finding that 5 is a little better, but 6 is fine. And that's different from what you'll see in the video. So please follow this one. And it must be flat on the bottom. Must be flat on the bottom. Things can't poke through, and it can't be rounded. There's a hole for the ring that has to be 5 to 7 millimeters wide, and with just enough space between the wall and the edges to prevent it from breaking off, and then your keychain won't actually hold onto anything. It must include one imported design item from thingiverse.com. Now this is in your canvas, and he'll in the video he'll show you where that is and how to go get there, but you have to. And then you got to make sure that your objects are not distorted. So you download it, but then you're probably going to have to change size. You may also have problems if you try to download something really big and it won't let you. So pay attention to that and pay attention to that messaging, because usually you just have to find a similar image that's just a smaller file size. Okay, you must include some text. And again, there's this thing about not distorting it, and that's where you hold the shift, click one of the squares in the corners, and drag it so that it'll stay the same dimension. But you also have to make sure your text doesn't cut through the slab. The only hole that goes through this design is the hole for the ring, so you can hang it on a set of keys, hang it on your backpack, and so forth. And then we're going to make sure there are no sharp edges, so you have to cut these corners off, and he'll demonstrate a way to do that. Where is it? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Here it is. I lost it. So sharp edges are eliminated using a flat-sided hole shapes, squares, triangles, and such. And you have to really kind of pay attention to the design of your keychain. Is it pleasing to the eye? If you were to give this as a gift, would they be delighted in it, or would they wonder why there's this here and this side is off? And so pay attention to the details about design. So things that will stop your keychain be printed. So if the file does not have the correct naming, so last name, first initial, and your project title, keychain. Okay, so let me actually type that in there, keychain. So that's the project title for this one. Okay, if you don't have that, then it won't be printed. we'll just delete the file and from the print queue, and then you'll have to rename it and resubmit. It cannot have inappropriate school content or images. If it sits too high in the slab, one of the things that usually stops keychains from being printed is that the Thingiverse thing and your text, you have to press them into the slab. It can't poke out the bottom. That would make the slab not flat. It can't be a hole because that would also be a rule that we broke in here. But they have to actually be attached to that bottom slab, or they just sit on top. And the 3D printer cannot print that. It'll print it, but it'll be a mess, and it won't be what you designed. Okay, so bottom's not flat. Make sure you can use the D key to put things, making sure it's set on the platform. Text cuts through the slab. Can't do that. Keychain is larger than 50 by 50. The keychain has no hole. It's too small or too close to the edge. And it hasn't been downloaded as an STL file, okay, or included in the Canvas assignment. So there's a turn your STL file in here. It only accepts STL files. And so that's the way you have to help me manage all the keychains that are about to come in. There'll be over 50 if everybody gets this done. Okay, so I've also included some pictures. This is all in Canvas for you, but here are some pictures of what we're looking at. The hole, the slab, the text, the image from Thingiverse, and cutting off those corners. Okay, and then you've got some side view images, and that actually is, I think, the final project that you have to turn in to show that you've finished this. Okay, so this is under requirements for 3-day keychains. Those are the must-haves. You've heard me say it. So how do you get all that stuff? Because some of this is new. Well, it's all in the video. So if we go back to our home page here, our modules page here, it's the same video that we use to understand how we actually build. But this one, and again, you must follow these directions. It must be a square, okay? The choice of the image from Thingiverse and the text you put in there, and also there's a lot of places where you can be creative, okay? So you want to start this video at 8 minutes and 8 seconds, because we've already gone through the beginning of this. So and remember, don't open this into YouTube. You can't play YouTube videos. But you can play a YouTube video through Canvas. So leave it right here. Hit the play button and grab that and slide it over until you see that it's 8 minutes and 8 seconds. Or you're gonna just watch something you've already watched. Okay. All right. So here you go. About right there. And he's about to start. Let's get rid of that. Oop. So don't worry about him talking about his rubrics and things. I have a different rubric. We'll go over that when I see you again. And we'll make sure you understand. Well, I've told you all the things you have to do, so that's your rubric. And then he's gonna take you step by step. Now remember, I'm gonna watch something that you do, and then I'm gonna pause it, and then I'm gonna go to Thingiverse and do it myself. So you can have this video open and your Thingiverse and your Tinkercad, not Thingiverse, your Tinkercad open with a new file with the correct naming, and then you can do it just step by step with him. If you don't get the information, well, back up the video and listen to it and watch it again. You can use closed captioning for this. And if you want to watch this in your home language, you can always go and use you can use the gear right here and set it to a different language. So use your tools so that you can be successful and use them all. Any questions on this? Ask each other, ask me when I'm there, and we'll definitely go over this on Thursday so you can see, we can go over and give you some feedback on if your keychain meets the standards or if it doesn't. And we can get them to start printing when we can. All right. Do good works. and get this done so you can get your keychains printed. Okay? All right. Thanks for listening.